Hey guys, it's Kerry. Beneath the surface, there are no rules, no mercy. Every second, something is hunting and something is about to be hunted. This is the brutal reality of the ocean. The jellyfish. Its tentacles are lined with stinging cells. They fire on contact, paralyzing prey instantly. Crustaceans. These amphibians were top aquatic predators, similar to crocodiles today. They became extinct towards the end of the early Cretaceous when temperatures were rising, and this gave crocodiles the opportunity to take over. Peacock mantis shrimp. They use a mini shockwave called cavitation, which will stun prey and even crack through shells. Slow and seemingly vulnerable, the pufferfish looks like easy prey, but that illusion can be deadly. When threatened, it inflates into a spiked ball, making itself nearly impossible to swallow. And if that fails, its toxic flesh delivers a powerful warning. The pufferfish is smart. The moray eel is an ambush predator. When prey comes too close, it strikes with lightning speed. A second set of jaws pulls the victim inward, leaving no chance of escape. Moray eels have large eyes and mouths which contain many teeth. Deinosuchus. It has been estimated to have grown to about 11 meters in length and weighing 6 to 7 tons, by far exceeding any modern alligator or crocodile. Leafy sea dragon. Each leafy lobe is pure camouflage, not used for swimming. Instead, they glide elegantly on tiny translucent pectoral and dorsal fins. Nudibranch. Spiny lobster can be easily distinguished from true lobsters by their very long, thick, spiny antennae and by the lack of chellae or claws on the first 4 pairs of walking legs, although the females of most species have a small claw on the 5th pair. Beneath the waves, the Maine lobster moves carefully across the ocean floor. Its claws are weapons, powerful enough to crush, strong enough to defend. But armor doesn't mean safety. Fish, octopus, and large predators probe for weakness. When threatened, it raises its claws ready to fight. Lobsters are invertebrates with a hard protective exoskeleton. Like most arthropods, lobsters must shed to grow, which does leave them vulnerable. During the shedding process, several species change colour. Although lobsters are largely bilaterally symmetrical, like most other arthropods, some genera possesses unequal specialized claws. The flying fish has one great advantage. It can leave the ocean. With a powerful burst, it launches out of the water, wings spread, gliding across the surface in a desperate escape. The main reason for this behaviour is thought to be to escape from underwater predators. Although these periods of flight do expose them to an attack by avian predators, the record for a flying fish being able to glide over the water is 45 seconds in flight. Spotted eagle ray. They are potentially dangerous to humans due to the venomous tail spines that can inflict serious wounds. Buried beneath the sand, the marble stingray disappears completely. Only its eyes remain visible, watching, waiting. In a flash, it erupts from the sand, trapping its target before it can react. Moving in massive groups, cow-nosed rays turn the ocean into a living wave. Hundreds glide together, overwhelming anything in their path. They feed on shellfish, crushing hard shells with powerful jaws. Graceful and massive, the manta ray glides through the ocean like a living shadow. It feeds on plankton, filtering the water as it moves. But even giants can be targeted. Large sharks see opportunity, especially in younger or weaker individuals. The manta doesn't fight, it moves, using size and awareness to stay just out of reach. The blue spotted ray looks almost harmless until it's threatened. Camouflaged against the sand, it disappears in plain sight. But when danger comes too close, its tail lashes out with venomous precision. They settle themselves down over their prey, trapping them against the substrate with their disc, then flexing their disc flaps and maneuvering the victims into their mouths. Usually, rays will swim out of harm's way if approached. However, they can give a nasty sting which could prove fatal. Never swim over the top of large rays. They think you are a predator and are likely to whip their tails in defense. Fish are cold-blooded, unlike us who are warm-blooded. There is an exception though. Tuna and mackerel sharks have warm blood like us. A fish's slimy scales helps them glide through the water more easily. Most fish don't have eyelids. The only fish that can blink is a shark. Graceful and ancient, the sea turtle moves through the ocean with calm precision, but beneath that calm lies constant risk. Sharks patrol the waters, waiting for the right moment. One powerful bite can crack even a strong shell. Please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. The 7 existing species of sea turtles are the flatback, green, hawksbill, leatherback, loggerhead, Kemp's Ridley, and olive ridley sea turtles. From the moment they hatch, Kemp's Ridley sea turtles are in danger. Tiny, exposed, and racing towards the ocean, they face predators from every direction, birds above and crabs below. Few make it. The journey from sand to sea becomes a deadly gauntlet where survival is measured in seconds. The leatherback turtle dives deeper than most reptiles, entering cold, dark waters in search of jellyfish. Leatherback turtle. It is the largest of all living turtles and the heaviest non-crocodilian reptile, reaching lengths of up to 1.8 meters, which is nearly 6 feet, weighing 500 kilograms. Green sea turtle. They live part of their life in the open ocean, and they're most often encountered in shallow lagoons and coral reefs where they feed on sea sponges. red-eared slider turtle. They have poor hearing but good vision and are very sensitive to vibrations. When startled or threatened, they will quickly slide off rocks or logs back into the water. Marine reptiles. These are the reptiles that can live in and around the seas. For example, sea turtles and saltwater crocodiles. Sea turtles have been alive since dinosaurs lived on our planet. Most sharks are cold-blooded, but some, like the great white shark, are warm-blooded. Megalodon. Its bite force would have been 5 or 6 times more than a great white shark. Its jaw would span 2.7 to 3.4 meters wide, easily big enough to swallow 2 adults side by side. These jaws were lined with 276 teeth. Once it reaches a shell, the sea star begins its attack, forcing the shell open just enough. Then, in a disturbing twist, it pushes its stomach inside, digesting its prey alive. The horseshoe crab is older than the dinosaurs. Its hard shell offers protection, but not invincibility. Sharks and large fish can flip it, exposing its vulnerable underside. Not a crab, and is more closely related to spiders and scorpions. Banded sea snake, adapted to life in the ocean. It has a paddle-like tail and highly potent venom used to subdue its prey. Shastosaurus. It is an extinct genus of ichthyosaur that lived during the late Triassic period. It grew to 7 meters or 23 feet in length. In the deep, where light barely reaches, the goblin shark drifts like something out of a nightmare. Its long snout senses movement in total darkness. When prey comes close, its jaws shoot forward, snapping out with terrifying speed, grabbing anything within its reach. Slow, strange, and almost alien, it proves one thing: in the deep ocean, evolution doesn't create beauty, it creates survival. Prey would include bony fishes, squids, and crustaceans. The underside of the snout has many pores that are external openings. There is electricity detecting organs here. The goblin shark most likely hunts its prey by detecting electric fields. Pleuroceras ammonite was a type of cephalopod that lived during the early Jurassic period. The most distinctive features of these creatures were their tightly coiled shells, which featured prominent ridges and spikes. The ancient ammonite used its tentacles to capture whatever came too close, but it was far from safe. Larger marine predators tracked it, crushing shells with powerful jaws. Previtoceras. They are an extinct genus of ammonite. They were fast-moving nectonic carnivores. Basilosaurus had primitive dentition and skull architecture. The rest of the slender, elongated skeleton was well adapted to aquatic life. It attained a length of about 21 meters, which is 70 feet, with the skull alone as much as 1.5 meters. Basilosaurus was common through the late Eocene seas. The primitive skull would have had a small brain. Basilisk was a mythological beast and said to have the power to cause death with a single glance. You can bend the basilisk into different shapes. According to legend, this snake was only 30 centimeters or 12 inches in length, and it was so venomous it leaves a wide trail of deadly venom in its wake, and its gaze is likewise lethal. Giant squid and some other large squid species maintain neutral buoyancy in seawater through an ammonium chloride solution which is found throughout their bodies and is lighter than seawater. Like other cephalopoda, squid are intelligent animals. Squids have a head-like structure with sense organs and brains in the front end. Although the squids lack exterior shells, they have a vestigial shell inside, made of chitin, which is spelled chitin. Often the male will die a short time after mating, and the female will die once she has released her eggs. Because of this, squids usually only lay eggs once. They do not live very long. Most of them live for only 1 or 2 years. Drifting through swaying kelp forests, the weedy sea dragon doesn't swim so much as disappear. Its leaf-like appendages mimic seaweed perfectly and turning it into a moving illusion. Predators glide past, not realizing they've just gone past a tasty meal. While avoiding danger, the weedy sea dragon is also a hunter, snapping up tiny crustaceans that drift too close. With no teeth and no powerful bite, it relies on stealth and timing, sucking prey in with a sudden, precise strike. Elasmosaurus. It is a genus of plesiosaur that lived in North America. It measured 10.3 meters in length. Elasmosaurus would have had a streamlined body with paddle-like limbs, a short tail, a small head, and an extremely long neck. The neck alone was around 7.1 meters. The skull would have been slender and triangular, with large fang-like teeth at the front and smaller teeth towards the back. Their long neck enabled them to approach a shoal of fish and stick their head in and pluck one out quickly. Tanystropheus. These marine reptiles grew up to 6 meters in length and had unique necks composed of 13 extremely elongated vertebrae and strut-like ribs. Tanystropheus was not a fast swimmer, so often walked along the seabed and used its long neck to get within range of prey without being noticed. Hydrotherosaurus is an extinct genus of elasmosaurid plesiosaur from the Upper Cretaceous. It has one of the longest necks relative to total length. Tylosaurus is a genus of mosasaur, a large predatory marine reptile closely related to modern monitor lizards and to snakes. It lived during the late Cretaceous. It was one of the deadliest hunters of its time. It had a long snout and hinged jaws which gave it a fearsome bite. This marine reptile propelled itself through the water with its powerful flat tail and steered with its 4 paddle-like flippers. Its mouth was lined with rows of cone-shaped, razor-sharp teeth, and this colossal creature was always ready to chomp. Marine reptiles are reptiles which have become secondarily adapted for an aquatic or semi-aquatic life in a marine environment. Some extant or living varieties are the sea turtles, sea snakes, marine iguana, and the saltwater and American crocodiles. Some of the extinct marine reptiles became so well adapted to a marine lifestyle they were incapable of venturing onto the land and gave birth in the water. Living species such as sea turtles and saltwater crocodiles return to shore to lay their eggs. Some marine reptiles also occasionally rest and bask on land. Of the 12,000 extant reptile species and subspecies, only about 100 are classed as marine reptiles. The blue-ringed octopus has one of the most powerful venoms in the ocean. A single bite can paralyze instantly, ending the fight before it begins. Baby octopus. Octopus are ocean creatures that are most famous for having 8 arms and bulbous heads. They have 3 hearts and blue blood. They squirt ink to deter predators. And being boneless, they can squeeze into or out of tight spaces. The octopus is more than a predator, it's a problem solver. It blends into its surroundings perfectly, becoming a rock, coral, or shadow. When prey comes close, it strikes with precision, wrapping it in its powerful arms before delivering a fatal bite. But when threatened, it vanishes, releasing ink, changing shape, escaping through impossibly small places. Intelligence is its greatest weapon. Octopuses have cat-like tongues. It's called a radula, and it's a tongue-like ribbon lined with rows of tiny teeth that are replaced as they wear down. On jagged coastal rocks, the Sally Lightfoot crab moves like a blur, bright, fast, and incredibly agile. It darts across slippery surfaces where predators struggle to keep up. Blue crab, it's a fighter. Armed with sharp claws and a hard shell, it defends itself with aggression when escape isn't an option, but it's also a predator. Crustaceans include crabs, lobsters, prawns, shrimp, and crayfish. Lobsters have blue blood and they can live for over 100 years. Crayfish walk forward but swim backwards. Spiny lobsters are thought to be social animals and gather in groups of 12 or more. They They migrate in long chains across the ocean floor, up to 50 lobsters at a time. Crocodile. The two species with the most well-known and documented reputation for preying on humans are the Nile crocodile and saltwater crocodile. Crocodiles have a unique body form that allows the eyes, ears and nostrils to be above the water surface while most of the animal is hidden below. The tail is long, strong and massive, and the skin is thick and plated. A crocodile hatchling emerges from the egg with a length already of up to 30 centimeters or 12 inches. A young crocodile grows about 30 centimeters each year for the first 4 years. Frogfish. They are small, short and stocky, and like this one, covered in spinels and other appendages to aid in camouflage. The frogfish becomes part of the reef itself. It is so well camouflaged. A small lure extends from its head, wriggling like prey. Curious fish move closer, unaware they are being hunted. Anglerfish. There's a light that emanates from the end of the fishing rod-like extension on its forehead. It uses this surprising adaptation to lure prey out of the dark and close enough for its razor-sharp jaws to strike. Driven by instinct, salmon fight their way upstream against currents, against exhaustion, against everything the wild throws at them. This is not just a journey, it's a survival. Bears wait at the falls. Birds strike from above. Every leap becomes a gamble between life and death. Bright, elegant, and impossible to miss, the koi moves through the water like living art. But that beauty comes at a cost. Its vivid colours make it an easy target. Their length is usually up to about 28 centimetres, and they are found in brackish and fresh waters, drainage ditches, lakes and rivers. In many places, they spread from Asia throughout the world. The piranha waits, calm, almost motionless. A sudden movement, a drop of blood, and the frenzy begins. Dozens of jaws, razor sharp, tearing in a coordinated storm of chaos. Clown triggerfish is bright, bold, and aggressive. Its powerful jaws can crush shells, coral, and anything that gets too close. This isn't just a hunter, it's a defender. Queen triggerfish. They are aggressively defensive of their territory and can inflict a strong bite, especially during the breeding season. It can change colour to match its surroundings or if subjected to stress. Hidden among weeds and shadows, the largemouth bass waits in perfect stillness. It doesn't chase, it ambushes. When prey drifts too close, it explodes forward, mouth wide, vacuuming its target in a single devastating strike. There's no warning, no second chance, just sudden impact. Because in its world, survival belongs to those who strike first and strike fast. Let's talk about sharks. Sharks are fish that have skeletons made of cartilage rather than bone, making them lighter and more buoyant in water. Over millions of years, they have developed extraordinary senses to help navigate and detect prey. There are about 500 species of sharks in the world. Dugong, they are referred to as sea cows because they use their strong, cleft upper lips to graze on sea grasses. They eat both day and night, locating their food with the help of coarse, sensitive bristles on their upper lip. Slow, peaceful, and unaware of danger, the manatee drifts through warm waters with little defense. It doesn't hunt, it doesn't fight. While natural predators are rare, its real danger comes from the loss of habitat in its environment. Sea lion. They are part of the pinniped group that also includes seals and walruses, which is why sea lions and seals are often confused for the same species. However, an easy way to distinguish between the two is to observe how they stand and move on land. Sea lions have long flippers that they can stand on, while seals' flippers can barely reach the ground. Sea lions are predators. They consume large amounts of fish and help to regulate prey species populations. They are also prey, however, and serve as an important food source for large animals like great white sharks, hammerhead sharks, blue sharks, and killer whales. As they live both in water and on land, they also carry important nutrients from the ocean to the land, fertilizing the soil on which they rest. A baby fur seal. Spotted seal. Their preferred habitat is the edge of the pack ice in areas of loose flows, while harbour seals avoid sea ice. Harp seal. Adults have pure black eyes. It has a silver grey fur covering its body with black harp or wishbone-shaped markings dorsally. Another way to tell the difference between a sea lion and a seal is that only the sea lion with the longer flippers has visible ears. The main predator of seals are killer whales, polar bears, leopard seals, large sharks, and of course humans. Mammals like sea lions, seals, and walruses are called pinnipeds as they have winged feet. On land, elephant seals clash in brutal battles, massive bodies colliding as males fight for dominance. Strength decides everything here. But in the ocean, the rules change. Sharks and orcas lurk below, turning these giants into prey. Power on land doesn't guarantee safety in the water. The bull's proboscis is used in producing extraordinarily loud roaring noises, especially during the mating season. Males display their dominance by showing their noses, making loud vocalizations, and altering their postures. They fight each other by raising themselves and ramming each other with their chests and teeth. Best to keep your distance. Elephant seals can outrun a human on sand. clinging to coral. With a curled tail, the seahorse drifts with the current. Fragile, slow, and exposed, it doesn't chase prey. It waits, snapping up tiny creatures that pass too close. Blue sea dragon hunts venomous jellyfish, consuming their stinging cells and storing them for its own defense, turning prey into weapon. Polar bear. Because of the intensity of competition between adult males is significant, and since larger males are more likely to outcompete smaller ones for mating privileges, through natural selection over the longer term, adult males have evolved to be roughly double the size of females. They are found throughout the Arctic region. The polar bear travels long distances over vast desolate expanses, generally on drifting oceanic ice floes, searching for seals, its primary prey. Except for one subspecies of grizzly bear, the polar bear is the largest and most powerful carnivore on land. It has no natural predators and knows no fear of humans, making it an extremely dangerous animal. Their broad feet have hairy soles to protect and insulate, as well as to facilitate movement across ice, as does the uneven skin on the soles of the feet, which helps to prevent slipping. They have strong, sharp claws, and this is important for gaining traction, for digging through ice, and for killing prey. Mosasaurus is a marine reptile that lived during the late Cretaceous. It had a streamlined body, an elongated tail ending with a downturn supporting a two-lobed fin, and two pairs of flippers. Mosasaurus was part of a group of mosasaurs known as aquatic squamates. The largest discovered specimen of Mosasaurus had a length of up to 17 meters or 56 feet. Mosasaurus was a carnivorous aquatic hunter, and their prey was most likely fish, other marine reptiles, birds, pterosaurs, smaller mosasaurs, and maybe even land dinosaurs. The teeth of a Mosasaurus were shaped like sharp spikes, allowing them to grip and hold on to slippery prey. Their double-hinged jaw allowed Mosasaurus to swallow its prey whole. They spent most of their time near the ocean surface, much like modern whales, since they breathed air in a similar fashion. Pliosaurus had teeth that were triangular in cross-section. Their diet would have included fish, cephalopods, and other marine reptiles. Kronosaurus was a marine reptile, a pliosaur. It had an elongated head, a short neck, a stiff body propelled by 4 flippers, and a relatively short tail. Kronosaurus reached speeds of up to 40 miles per hour or 65 kilometers per hour. Their big teeth enabled it to crush the shells of the huge shellfish called ammonites that lived in the same sea, and its sheer size meant that it could have eaten just about anything smaller than it, including other plesiosaurs and pliosaurs. It had a particularly large head and teeth that were roughly the same size and shape as a small banana. Its length is estimated to range from somewhere between 8 and 12 meters. The tail of the Kronosaurus is too short and tapered to be really useful in moving fast over a distance. Its short neck would have made any sudden movements of its head impossible, but its flippers were large and powerful enough to allow it to dart forward suddenly to capture its prey. It was more likely to lunge after its victims than chase them. The cuttlefish uses illusion. Its skin shifts colour, texture, even pattern. Amazing camouflage. When prey drifts close, it unleashes a hypnotic display, flashing patterns that confuse and mesmerize. Then in an instant, it strikes. Giant cuttlefish. The giant Australian cuttlefish is the world's largest cuttlefish, and like many other cephalopods, it is able to camouflage itself exceptionally well. Fast, reactive, and highly aware, the pink reef squid lives in constant motion. Its body flashes signals, communication, camouflage, and warning all in one. When it hunts, it strikes instantly, tentacles shooting forward to grab prey before it can react. Long before sharks ruled the seas, Anomalocaris dominated the Cambrian oceans. Strange, fast, and unlike anything alive today. Nautilus has a shell that protects it and acts as a buoyancy organ. They have survived relatively unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. Nautilus pompilius. It has a beautiful pearly shell inside. Cuperoceras was a genus of nautiloid cephalopod from the Permian period. It resembled a spiny ammonite. I'm going to talk about whales. They are fully aquatic, open ocean animals. They can feed, mate, give birth, suckle, and raise their young at sea. They range in size from 2.6 meters to 29.9 meters. The sperm whale is the largest toothed predator on Earth. The blue whale is the largest known animal that has ever lived. Belemnite. They are an extinct order of squid-like cephalopods that existed from the late Triassic to late Cretaceous. Orthoceras was an ancient cephalopod that lived about 370 million years ago. The name means straight horn, referring to its long, straight, conical shell. trilobite. They are extinct marine arthropods and one of the earliest known groups of arthropods. Axolotl belongs to the salamander family. It has external gills.
Humpback whale, massive yet precise. The humpback whale turns the ocean into a trap. Working together, they create swirling nets of bubbles, confusing and corralling their prey into tight clusters. Then comes the strike. Mouths open wide, they surge forward, engulfing thousands of fish in a single motion. It's a great strategy.
The blue whale is the largest animal to ever exist. It moves through the ocean with quiet power. It doesn't hunt large prey. It filters tiny krill, consuming millions in a single day. But even giants have vulnerable moments. Calves, still learning the vast ocean, can become targets for coordinated predators like orcas. Size alone isn't always protection. When it feeds, the blue whale becomes a moving force of nature. It surges forward, mouth opening wide, engulfing vast clouds of krill in a single gulp. Then uses its baleen plates to filter out the water, trapping its prey by the thousands. It turns even the smallest creatures, the krill, into an endless resource. Leviathan is an extinct genus of macro-reptilian sperm whale containing one known species. It had functional enamel-coated teeth on the upper and lower jaws. Silent beneath the surface, the great white waits. From below, it watches seals at the surface, timing every movement. Then it strikes, a sudden explosion of speed, launching from the depths in a violent breach. The attack is fast, precise, and devastating to the prey. Orca, it's also called the killer whale. It is a toothed whale belonging to the oceanic dolphin family, of which it is the largest member. Long extinct but never forgotten, the megalodon was the ultimate predator, larger than any shark alive today. It ruled ancient oceans with unmatched power. Its prey was whales, massive creatures torn apart by crushing jaws and serrated teeth the size of a human hand. In the ocean, you don't get a second chance. Thanks for watching, guys.